All right, we can safely say congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs for finally signing Sibongiseni Mthethwa. Now, in any deal, when you hear that terms have been agreed, that deal to collapse chances are very slim. As of now, Sibongiseni Mthethwa is doing his medical test at Kaizer Chiefs, and remember the guy was playing on Tuesday, so chances of him failing medical test are very slim. You know what I'm saying? Because they just check what type of injuries have you had and all those things. And because the guy has been constantly playing, that is why I'm telling you that definitely shows Bongani Mthethwa is a Kaizer Chiefs player, because the deal has been agreed by the two parties. And I told you even previously that once they say that, forget the deal is done. Forget that person now belongs to that team. You know what I'm saying? But again, there's also what Gavin Hunt had said about Luke Fleurs joining Kaizer Chiefs as well, and he said some quite interesting things that I was like, when he was like, he didn't have a chance to sit down with Luke Fleurs and all the stuff and blah blah blah, and because of all of those things, yeah, he was speaking kind of like he was regretting what was happening. But nonetheless, yeah, we're going to have to go through that. Mapena, a former Orlando Pirate player, a Royal AM Bloemfontein Celtic, has found a new home. He has officially signed a new deal. Those are some of the things that we will talk about in this video. So we'll have to go through that. But the topic of the day is none other than Sibongiseni Mthethwa. Kaizer Chiefs, on the other hand, they are not rushing to sign Luke Fleurs, simply because Luke Fleurs, guys, there is no rush to sign him, because he is he's a free agent. So even if they sign him after the close of the transfer window, which will happen on Friday, they are not necessarily on the rush. Because of that, yeah, Luke Fleurs, we will see the story of Luke Fleurs. For now, but I'll give you everything now, you know what I'm saying, provided that you're interested. If you are interested, then please stick around. As you stick around, there's only one favor that I'm requesting from you guys, and that favor is that you subscribe, you like the video, and you do comment in the comment section below. Why do you need to do all of this nice things, good people? Well, you need to do it because doing it does help out a lot when it comes to the YouTube algorithm to promote and spread this video to as many people as possible. So definitely, good people, the power here is in your hands. Good people, let's start with Mapena. Mapena, there was an article that was released by IFA Post. Former Orlando Pirates striker Mapena has signed a deal with a newly promoted DStv Premiership side Polokwane City. Mapena was released by Orlando Pirates at the end of the 2022-2023 season. Has been offered short-term contract by Rise and Shine. Right, the 35-year-old penned a one-year deal with the Polokwane City with an option to renew. Now, we must say, or I must state, that I'm very much impressed about the fact that Mapena has been able to carry himself healthy, because it's very difficult to hear that a player at the age of 35 years is still going on strong. These people, most of them, they usually end at age 32, 33, it's done. But Mapena, 35. Now we signed a new deal that is going to take him to 36, probably, look, with the option to renew, 37. Still playing football, guys. Let's give credit when it is due. Mapena, he knows how to take care of his body, and for that, credit to Mapena. Now let's move on to local guys. We've got the news of the day, and that is in the Bagam Sibongiseni Mthethwa. But before I get into Sibongiseni Mthethwa joining the Kaizer Chiefs, let's start with Indabaga Luke Fleurs and Gavin Hunt. Gavin Hunt has got some quite interesting things to say about that. I think he's been injured for the last month or so. Well, pretty much most of the season, from the start, even the pre-season, he didn't do much. Hunt revealed to the public broadcaster SABC Sport. And then he goes on to say, so he missed a lot. I don't understand how he can go on trial today when he was injured yesterday. I don't know how it works. Gushu Gavin Hunt. Well, I was quite happy for him to stay, but obviously, he wasn't paying. partaking, and the club felt that they've got four centre backs. Now that if he wasn't happy, it wasn't pretty to the agreement, and that actually happened in the meeting. I didn't have one meeting with him in terms of sitting him. The agent or the CEO Stan Matthew. It was done by them, so I am not aware of what actually went down. Right, so having said that about Luke Fleurs, we all know is gone. Now he's currently training with Amakhosi abafana bokuthula noxolo ezigatshintsha kuluva. Speaking about Amakhosi abafana bokuthula noxolo ezigatshintsha kuluva, we were told at some point that this man local sporting director Kaiser Motawong Jr. flew down to Durban to negotiate a deal where they were going to sign Sibongiseni Mthethwa. That similar trend of him going down to do business with other clubs, and it has been happening when he traveled to Italy or what's this country? Italy or Germany, between the two. That's when he traveled there to negotiate Gonzalo's. And guess what? He came back with Gonzalo's. And I said it on the other video that he traveled to Cape Town. Appears like he's going to come back with a victory. Well, where's my lies? Apa mangam. Hey mo malume. Kulengo mangimdala ungehlula badala. I don't know, some of you don't understand what I'm saying, but you'll understand, don't worry. There was an article that was released by Rolenzo Grobler today on the 28th of September. Yes, 28th of September, right. Rolenzo is a journalist for eDisky TV. In that Disky TV, it says, Chiefs set to beat Pirate to Mthethwa, but I can tell you this word set to beat, it's actually an understatement. Now listen carefully again. In the subtitle, he says, Kaizer Chiefs have agreed terms with the Stellenbosch FC midfield Sibongiseni Mthethwa for a sensational move 2 days before the transfer window. Now, I can tell you this, like I said, once you hear such words, usually that deal tends to materialize. Once the personal terms have been agreed, what more? It's medical test. And after medical test, do you think do you think Sibongiseni Mthethwa could fail medical test? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Now, South African international was left out of the Stellenbosch starting 11 on Tuesday. Wait, he wasn't playing? Wait a minute. He wasn't playing yesterday. Okay, they said South African international was left out of the Stellenbosch starting 11 on Tuesday evening after allegedly informing the club of his desire to leave before Friday, with Chiefs publicly and expressing their desire for the player. The final week of the window was always going to be a nervy for the Stellies, and now bid to believe to be in the region of 6 million is said to have been accepted for Ox. So Stellenbosch have accepted 6. The Kaizer Chiefs have offered 6 million, and Stellenbosch accepted that. In his article, he says Orlando Pirates was also keen on the midfield Hartman, who was also a subject of interest from Amazulu, but with Chiefs already in advanced negotiations with the late approach of a lower after was not even enough to attempt to sign the 29-year-old. They say it is good times. Now this is where it gets interesting. It is good times understands Ox will be flying out to Johannesburg within the coming hour to finalize the 3-year deal with an option to extend. So as of now, as of me recording this video, it is 2 hours. They said he was flying in an hour. And that's how accurate it was. It is good times. He was flying in an hour time. He was to be in Johannesburg. So that means as of us now speaking, he's already on his flight to Johannesburg. Right. Mthethwa is said to be relishing the opportunity of Chiefs' move as the club shown the desire to secure the deal before the deadline and issued an assurance of a key role alongside the likes of Emerson Dove Castillo and Yasif Mat in the first 11. Stellenbosch are now monitoring the 20-year-old Melfort midfielder Mthetheleli Mtian as the long-term replacement for the defensive midfielder. Sources indicate that they are aiming to source him and leave him on loan at the Motsepe Foundation side for the remainder of the season. Now, we have broken the story down. Do I believe, for some quite strange reasons, that this deal will collapse? No, I don't think so. I can tell you this, that from what I think, from what I know, once you hear the word, they've agreed terms, chances of such a deal to collapse are very slim. So I would be happy to tell you that congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs for finally getting Mthethwa, whom they have promised him a starting 11. Now, it's so interesting to hear that people who were promised to start, including Yasif Mat, was signed with the promise that he was going to be a starter. No wonder things are happening the way they are happening, because for me, I will think that, okay, they were going to bench they were going to bench they were going to bench look, who's this guy, ne? Yasif Mat, put Sibongiseni Mthethwa in the 6, then put Castillo in front of him. You know what I'm saying? And then take Mat and Stebe outside, and then they can substitute those guys. But if they were promised to start a game, you see this contract where people are promised to start a game. You see now. But again, with Sibongiseni Mthethwa as well, the questions that I had with, I think I was talking to Diskikalo, Nicholas, we were talking about the fact that is there a possibility that he might start on Saturday? And he was like, nah, he can start. And then I was like, hey, but Pella, he needs to be integrated into the team, you know what I'm saying, before he can start. And then I was like, no, he can start, considering the fact that they need him. And this is a cup game. And I was like, I got that, man. I don't think it would be necessary for a team like Kaizer Chiefs to rush the player, you know what I'm saying? But again, things are happening. This is football. So, what's your take? Do you think that Kaizer Chiefs should rush him to the starting 11 and just push him? You know what I'm saying? Or you think they should wait, allow things to transpire the way they should, you know what I'm saying, and just allow things to proceed the way they should. Then later on, allow him probably to understand the nature of the game, like Gonzalez, he came to Kaizer Chiefs, he trained with Kaizer Chiefs before he got his permit. Meanwhile, he was getting acquainted to the structure of the team, how the team plays and all the stuff. When his permit was now available, and then boom, he was pushed into the starting 11. Don't you think that should be the same here, where probably he missed 1 or 2 games before he could be given a start at Kaizer Chiefs, where when he missed these 2 games, it's the process where he just get acquainted to or he gets this thing of being integrated into the team, where he can understand how the team function and how the team plays and how the coach wants him to play. So that was my thinking, to say it just gives him that time. So because then if you are going to push or force to make him start a game against Mamelodi Sundowns, it will not be an interesting game, you know what I'm saying? It's never going to be an interesting game for him to start to start in the game here Mamelodi Sundowns. If it was according to me, win or lose, just take Sibongiseni Mthethwa out. Look, you know what I'm saying? Let him get acquainted to how the team play, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, he must continue training with the team. Probably he can even miss the next game. It's okay for me. Then that following game, then you introduce him. You know what I'm saying? But it also depends. He's a South African player. He knows the South African culture. He understands the South African way of doing things. So one might argue and say there's not much of maybe acclimatizing and all the stuff. It's just a matter of him maybe adapting to the Kaizer Chiefs way of doing things, which might not necessarily require him maybe more than two practice sessions. I don't know. It could be an argument. You know what I'm saying? He has played against Kaizer Chiefs. That should be a bit of an advantage in terms of understanding the structure. But also, I can argue then and say the information you received as planning for Kaizer Chiefs as an opposition is different than the information that you will receive as now being a Kaizer Chiefs player now. It's completely different. You need that part of that thing of integration where you are made to understand what Kaizer Chiefs is all about, how Kaizer Chiefs want to play, how Kaizer Chiefs want to apply their footballing style and all the stuff. And because of that, I feel like, yeah, that's me, by the way. That's me. And a lot of people obviously they will get into the comment section below. People will start congratulating Kaizer Chiefs for such an incredible work that they have done in signing Sibongiseni Mthethwa. That I am pretty much sure that people will start celebrating that victory, because to a lot of people that's going to be a victory. But I want you guys before I close, I heard Uspiwe Mkonza saying that Oxen Mthethwa is not supposed to be signed by Kaizer Chiefs. I also heard in fact I think he said that Ox he's actually not a Kaizer Chiefs material, right? And then I heard Uhlompho Kekana saying that no, Kaizer Chiefs don't need Sibongiseni Mthethwa. They need to sign a striker. So I was sitting here and I was thinking to myself, no, they need him. If you are saying that position have got a lot of players, so is the striking department. They've got Gonzalez, they've got Young Dube, they've got Ranga. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's a great idea to make sure that each and every position has got 3 players. If this one get injured, then you know that, okay, I'm going to put this one and still he will compete with this one. So say, for instance, they qualify to play in the CAF Champions League. They will need to rotate their squad. So if you've got more than 2 players in one position, it gives you the upper hand. It gives you the advantage. And because of that, it makes sense to have what we call it a squad depth. If they need a striker, it's okay. They can still make sure that they push until the January transfer window. Then they go and add another striker. But I'm for the idea that they need to add more players. What about you?